And what we're going to build today is a simple to-do list app, kind of a task management app. And I've built a little mock-up for that. We basically have your kind of start screen, your login page, your sign up page, and then the bulk of the app, which is really the to-do section and the new and edit view. And then we'll have a couple of different versions of that based on whether they're pending tasks or completed tasks, and likewise we'll have different versions of this new edit view based on whether there's a new to-do item or whether you're editing one. I have this design, right now it's in Sketch, and you can take this design and basically import it directly into Proton. So this is Proton, and the goal of Proton is basically a platform that lets anybody build a mobile app without writing any code. And you can import designs from Sketch and Adobe XD, the popular design tools. And you can also, like Sketch was the one that I was just in, and you can also use Adobe XD, and then you can also just go and build directly within Proton. So we're just going to go and create a new app. We're going to call it Checkbox, like our app that we were designing there. And then it gives us this kind of blank start screen. And since we have a design already, we're going to go and import that import the sketch file. So to do that, all we got to do is basically drag this design right on in, and it will import the design screen by screen and lay it out the same way that it was laid out in Sketch. So already if we were to click preview, we could just go and see that basically we have our design as it was in Sketch, pretty much exactly the same here. But it doesn't do anything right now. Like if we go back, if we try and click, nothing happens. The cursor doesn't change. It's just pretty flat. So now let's go and hook up this app to some functionality. So basically the first thing we want to do is for new users who are not logged in, we want to have them land on this start page, so that when you click preview, you can go straight to the start page. And by the way, guys, if you want to test this on your own phone at any point, you can go ahead and go to this link on your mobile phone, and it'll let you very easily test out the app as I go through it. Just in Safari or whatever web browser you use on your mobile phone. Yeah, and so I can just show you that on mine. It'll have the app nice and easy. But as I said, nothing works yet because we haven't actually hooked into the app yet. So let's go and do that. First thing we're going to do is when you click this sign in button, we're going to say link that to the login page. And let's just do the push interaction. That's kind of the normal, slide from right to left, the kind of standard interaction you get on iPhones. So then when we do that, if we were to preview, we would see that when we click sign in, we just get dropped over into the sign in page. Nice and easy. Just kind of like other prototyping tools that are out there. But once we're there, nothing really happens. So now we got to go hook up this sign up page to actually do something. The sign in page, I'm sorry. So we're going to convert this email text into a field. And then we're going to kill that background and border, and then do the same thing for password. Convert that into a text field. And change the colors appropriately. And it does its best to try and import those things to convert those based on the properties that were there, but it's not always perfect. So then now we have two text fields and we have a sign in button. And let's see. So let's make that sign in button actually do something. So when we click that, we want it to go and actually log the user in. And then what we're going to do here is we actually choose which field we want to pull each, which text input we want to use for each one. So for the email field, we want to use email. For the password field, we want to use password. And then after we do that, we also want to link the user to the home screen, which is called home. Let's do that with another push interaction. So Oh, one important thing. So this has been the design view so far. There's kind of three main parts of Proton once you get into an app. Basically, we've been on design. Then there's this data view where you can go and actually modify and add data. And you can add your own custom tables also. Right now we're just sticking with users because that's all we have at this point. But let's just make one. We can go Jeremy at example.com, and then we'll give it a name of Jeremy and a password of, let's just say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and press save. So yeah, if you guys are following along, you could use this information now once I hook it up to also log in. Yeah, so now if you click this, we're gonna get to the home page, which will take us here. So let's just try and go through that on the preview. Let's see, 1 2 3 4. Oh, but this is weird. This should be a password input, shouldn't it? So let's go and change that input type to password so it doesn't show us the password as we type it. That's kind of not what we want. Okay. Now we are signed into the home page. But once again, this page is still pretty static. It doesn't do much yet. Yeah. So let's do this. Let's go and first make these into fixed headers and footer. So this is a fixed header, so we want this to just stay at the top of the screen all the time. And on the preview, it won't be as obvious, but if you open it on your phone, you'll be able to see that it actually will keep those at the top and the bottom when the middle section will bounce. And then we'll make this button, the plus button, stick at the bottom of the screen by giving it a fixed bottom. Yeah, and by the way, I forgot to mention this, guys. If you want to follow along, if you want to create an account, you can go to dashboard.protonapp.com/signup, and that will let you create an account, and you can go and actually follow along yourself if you'd like to. Okay, cool. So where were we? We had these two fixed header and footer. And then we wanted to probably go and make this into a list of the current to-do tasks, right? So this is where the data section comes in. So we're going to go and make a new table. We're going to call this tasks, and then we can add a new column to this. We'll just call it, I don't know, task description. We'll make that just a text field. And then drive that a little wider. Yeah, so that's all we had to do there. Is make a new table with one field, which is task description, and we'll just make an example one so we can see how this works. Just say, I don't know, take out the trash. That is the task that we have to do. So now if we go back here, we can actually hook up this list of tasks to our list that we just created. So what we have to do is first we go and convert this group into a list, and it will automatically create a couple of those for us. The list will be dynamic based on how many items are in there, so this dragging the list longer or shorter is pretty much just for display purposes here. But then what we have to, if we were to preview this right now, it's just going to be empty because we didn't hook that list up to anything. But then if we go and actually add a data connection to the list of tasks, to all tasks, then we can go and actually see that. See that there's one item. And then to actually create this text and link that to the text, what do we have over here? We had take out the trash. So we just double click on this text where it says create mockup for demo. And then link that to the current task's description field right over there. So now if we were to preview it, it would say take out the trash, like we said. So one thing we want here is we want this task to actually have two different states, to have either pending or completed. And to do that, we're going to go and create another column on this table. We're going to call this completed. And we'll make it, I don't know, I'll just make it text. And Yeah, let's just do that. So we'll save that. By default, it's empty. By default, all fields are empty. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and say link this group up to be visible only if the current task completed field is equal to 1. We'll just set that 1 when you click it, or unclick it. Yeah. So let's hide that for now, or let's see. On the we actually have 2 boxes here. So we have one underneath, which basically just is a gray empty box, and we want to have, if we click that, we want to update the current task to actually have completed set to 1. So we're just going to make a new dummy input over here, a text input, just like we did for the username and password, and then we'll call it. And then so that way we can pull that value and actually update the completed field with completed equals 1, and then we'll actually set the default value of this to 1, if that makes sense. So when we preview it, it looks kind of the same. Let's see. If we show this guy again, we'll notice that it's still hidden because none of them have completed equals 1. And so then let's try actually clicking this guy. Yeah, so okay, that works. Rather than hiding it, we'll just put it outside the header. Because it's behind the header, we won't see it. Yeah. So going back, if we were to reset this guy and then save, we could go and click that, and it would add the completed equals 1. And then if we go back to the data, we see completed equals 1 is over there now too. So what we want to do here, though, is rather than just showing and hiding them on the same, or showing and hiding the completed, I suppose we could hook this up fully and actually make it so that if you click this group, we could also set completed to empty. So we could just copy this text field. And remember, because the reason that worked is because the default value is 1, so we made a new one where we just have completed equals nothing, and we'll just name it so it's something we can understand. And then on this checkbox group, we'll add an interaction to update the current update object, update the current task, and set completed to completed equals empty. So then if we click this, we should be able to then toggle that back and forth. That is gone now. So what we wanted to do next is we wanted to actually allow people to create new tasks. So we're going to go here. If you click this button, we want to link you to this new task page. What we can do is we can go here and we can basically go and convert this guy into a text field, like we did up above. So we can take this, say convert this to a text field, remove the border, make this a multi-line, so it'll kind of wrap, the text will wrap instead of just ending at the end of the row. And then also, yeah, we want to make this link properly. When we click this, we want to basically link it to the new page, right? So preview this, we'll link to the new page. That's not quite the interaction we want. So we can actually go and make that a float up interaction, which is going to give us more of the style that we're looking for. And actually, rather than doing that way, we actually want it to float up in front of the current view, rather than this kind of view we have created here. Actually, let's just delete the whole background, everything in the background, and then we'll make this actual background transparent, which will mean that when this floats up, it'll just float up in front of the current view. Yeah, so nothing weird happened here, it just kind of went in front of the current view. And if we click cancel, we want to link that back to the previous page. Yeah, cancel. So that interaction is pretty nice now. And then if we click in here, this is a text field, just like our text inputs were in the signup or on the login. And then so if you actually click this button, we want to make this button create a new task. So we'll go here, we'll say create new task. And then we can mark the task description. We can get that from the enter task text field here. And then after we do that, we just want to say let's link back to the previous page, and then that will close this modal that we've opened here. Yeah. So when you click new, enter task. Let's see. Let's do the dishes. Kind of in the same line as taking out the trash. And then that'll show up right here. And I think it's probably by default sorted in reverse chronological order, but we could always change that if we wanted to. Yeah. Then let's say, just going back here, if we, what happened? If we clicked on this guy, we wanted to update the object with complete it equals 1, right? Yeah, so then take out the trash, that's been completed now. The next thing we want to do is we want to actually go and make a different version of this homepage. Let's just make a new screen. We'll drag it down next to the home here. And we'll just copy everything from this homepage and paste it in the other one here. Paste in perfectly, cool. And this will be, we'll have one page for pending and one page for completed. So we can just go over here to this one and we can say, change the color of this guy to green. And likewise, we can move the bottom little highlight over here to be suitable for this completed text. We'll just rearrange that. Cool, looks good. We'll change this color to be the color of completed from the other page, which 80. Yeah. So now that we have this, we should be able to create links between these two, and right now they're going to look very, very similar. This one won't have our data connection, so it's going to be kind of back to normal on that. It's going to be just the default. But yeah, let's link this to screen one. Let's call this completed. So let's link completed to completed. And then let's link pending on the completed page to link back to the home. And rather than using the back, because we want it to actually go to home, even if you've done other things in between, we'll just do it that way. And then for the transitions on these guys, rather than just use the push transition, we'll use the just no transition at all. So then it just pops back and forth quickly. So let's preview that. So pending completed. Looks like our alignment is like a tiny bit off. Let's go and fix that. The Y got moved up 1. There we go. So now it should look a little better. Let's see. Yep, that looks better. Okay, so now that we've created the tabs like this, we want to actually go and display different information on each tab based on whether they're completed or not. So we're going to add a filter and say let's only show the task on the first page if completed is equal to empty. Well, we're showing nothing. Let's try if it's equal to 1. Okay, so yeah, I guess what's happening here is that the empty is not accepting an empty string. Cool. So and this is the first time I'm running through this, so I'm sorry for glitches here, guys. But basically what we want to do here is we want to hook this up. Let's go and create the other one. So on this other page, we'll go and make a new connection to all tasks. And then filtering wise, we'll select completed is equal to 1. So we go to this tab, we see our one completed task. On the pending tab, we don't see our pending task. My guess is there's something weird going on here. Made that a space, and we made that a space. I think it'll work fine. But instead of that, let's just say it's not equal to 1. That will be a lot easier to do here. So cool, yeah. And then now if we click this pending guy, it'll go away and it'll show up only on the other page. So we got to create a new one. Yeah, so that shows up by default on our pending tab. Then if we click that, it'll go over to our completed tab. And then on the completed tab, let's just make sure that was hooked up. So if we click this guy, we don't need this underlying checkbox anymore. Let's say if you click this guy, let's just update the current task. And let's set completed to nothing. Okay. Okay. Oh, and we actually didn't hook up this text on this one to the current task completed. So I was just linking the text up like we did on the first screen, so that that's the same on the completed screen. Oh, not to completed. We're not get up to the description. Yeah. Cool. There we go. So those are all our 3 tasks that are completed, and if we click one of these, it'll go away. It'll go back to the pending screen. So then we click this, and it goes back to the completed screen. Cool. That's great. Now what we want to do is we want to be able to edit one of those tasks. So we could just copy this screen. We can make a new screen. We'll drag it down next to this new edit view, and we'll just call this one edit instead of new edit. Or sorry, this one was just new. And then this one will be edit. And then we'll select everything from here, this group. We'll paste it into the edit screen. And then, let's see what happened. Pasted it right here. Oh, somehow it went way off screen. And then we'll, do you want to align that, where was that? 20 and 34. 20 and 34. And then like we did on that first page, we can go and make this a transparent background. Okay. And then what we want to do is change this, so then maybe make this original one say create, so that it's different. And then this one will be save, so that that's different as well. But then let's go and link this the text of this thing. Just link this to the edit page. And we'll do this the same way. We'll do a float up, and we'll do, yeah, I think that's all we have to do here. We'll link this back to the previous page like we did as well on the new page. Like that was just the cancel button that I had selected here. And then let's say make this, no, I won't do that yet. We'll add a link to this one as well, so that both pages link the same way to the edit page. And the cool thing is, because we have selected back here, it'll go back to whichever page we were on. Make sure I did the float up transition for that as well. So if we preview this, so we have one on the pending. We click that, it'll let us edit that, and it'll go back. If we're here and we click that, and then we go back, we'll go back to the completed page. So that's the cool part about the back button, is just that fact that you can go back wherever you came from. Doesn't matter where that was. Yeah, so for anybody just joining, basically what we're doing here is we have an app that we designed in Sketch. We had a Sketch file that I also linked in the chat over there. And then we took that and we imported it to Proton. Proton's basically our app building platform where you can build working amazing in mobile apps without writing any code. So we just imported the sketch file. We already did that, and we started hooking it up. We hooked up data from this data tab over here to our design view to various parts. So like we hooked this text to create mockup for demo. We hooked this up to the current to-do tasks description. Yeah, so moving right along, we want to add a link here. So we just want to link this. Sorry, we already added a link here. We want to link this to the edit view. That'll make the edit view float up in front of the current view, and then if you click cancel on this, like we just showed, it'll go back. Like so. So then we want to go and actually make that edit view work, right? So now that we have this, we've linked it, we can go and create a data connection between this this text field, which is a text field still, and hook that up to the current user's, or sorry, not that user, the current task's description. So then when we click into that, this will be filled up with the current task you just clicked on. And it knows it's the current one because you just clicked on that one, and that's what the link was inside of. If you don't have the link, you won't be able to do that. You kind of have to set up the link first, which is a current limitation, but it's pretty straightforward as long as you set up the links between the screens before you try and hook up the data. Yeah, so now let's go over here. And let's make this text field actually do something. So what was this called? This was called enter task. And so when you click this save button, we want to go and update the current task and set the description to our enter task field's value. And then after that, we want to, like we did before, we want to link back. Cool. So let's just try editing one of these with some more. We save that. It immediately updates back there. We probably should change that, but for now we'll just keep them short. So basically now we have enabled editing, creating, signups. There's no way to sign out right now, I suppose. But we've got that mostly working. We've enabled also this ability to check and uncheck tasks also, which is pretty awesome. So now, oh, and one thing we didn't do is we didn't actually hook this this button up to the new page. That was just from the completed tab, so that we have that linked on both pages. Yeah, let's see. So now that we're here, we can go and actually maybe let's hook up create account, because that's a little different just to make this app complete. Actually, before we do that, let's give ourselves a way to sign out, so that we're not stuck logged in once we log in one time. Let's just make another screen. We'll make this make this into basically a sidebar menu, a hamburger menu. So we'll just go and add a little hamburger here. We can draw new shapes. Sorry, I just did that with the shortcut, which is R for rectangle, but add new shapes of the menu over here too. Most of the stuff we were doing in this design was imported from Sketch, so we didn't do much of that, but if we want to, we can make new shapes here as well. So I'm going to make that just a little, we'll give that a nice gray hue. Let's say move that guy down a little bit. Does that look good, everybody? Let's see, group this. But we want to actually click it from a ways around, so we'll make a little click target that's larger. And what I'm doing, I was just basically going to make a transparent rectangle that goes behind this guy, so when you click anywhere within that transparent rectangle, it will enact our, it'll open our menu. Yeah, so we have that there. Let's make a link to our new screen. Just called screen one. Let's rename that. Yeah, so now if we do that, and let's give that thing a transparent background like we did on the new and edit views. So now there's a transparent background, and let's also draw a massive rectangle here just to represent the menu. I mean, I'm gonna draw it a little bit off screen so that we make sure it kind of stays in place if we scroll, if our content, or if our phone is like an iPhone X, for instance. Yeah, just align that left and top. We give that thing a white background, and then we'll I don't know, we'll just add a little X over here so we can close out of this as well. And I could probably do this better than I am with a proper X symbol, but for the sake of brevity, I will not do that. Bore you guys. Let's make them being transparent. Okay, cool. And so this will just link back to the previous screen. We're also going to draw a rectangle behind that guy. Let's align it properly. So somehow our copy pastes are a little off today, but oh, I know why that was. Basically, it wouldn't paste it on the screen. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. Pasted a little off, but let's move that over here. And then let's go and actually kind of make this fit to the whole screen. And what we're doing here is we just want to make it so that if you click on the side outside of the menu, it just closes the menu. And we'll just move this over. So you click right next to it, it's not going to close it, but make that guy transparent and link that back as well. Yeah, so now if you click this menu, and we'll copy this onto the other page as well. Make sure that pastes in the same place. 023, 023. We'll link that as well to the menu. Oh, and we wanted to make this probably float in from the right. Yeah, sorry, float in from the left, float in right. And flip right. That way it'll kind of come in from the right like a normal menu would. Yeah, let's try that. Oh, I know what happened here. We didn't put these guys inside of our header. Yeah, let's move the header to the top so it's more logical where this is. Move this inside the header, and we'll do the same here. Just move this header to the top, and we'll put this inside of header. Okay, cool. So now we should see this menu. If we click it, we get our menu popping out, and if we go to the completed tasks, same thing is true. And we can also click over here just in this empty space, which will take us back as well. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Let's make that, give that a lighter color. And so all we wanted to add here was basically just sign out. But you could add, whatever links. This would scroll the same way that other pages would. This design is not as elegant as the others because I'm going on the fly here. But let's see. So let's make this guy gray as well. No, let's make this guy. And I'll just make it gray. That's fine. It will do the job. Okay, cool. And then when we click that, we actually want to just sign the user out. And there is an interaction for logout. So after that, we also want to make sure we link them back to the start screen. Just do that with a slide right. Yeah, let's give that a try. Okay. Just sign them out. There we go. So now if we're back here, we're back at the beginning. So now let's go and let's implement that create account page so then we can hook that up. yeah, so let's convert these guys to text fields like we did on the other page. Hide the background, hide the, well, we could just do that all at once. So what we're doing here is we're just converting each of these text that we got imported directly from Sketch, converting these to text fields, and then just changing the styling a little bit so those match how we wanted those to look with a white text. It got the placeholder text color correctly, but it didn't get the text colors. It had no way of knowing. And then so, let's see, when we click this sign up button, well, first of all, we gotta link this, get started, just link this to our sign up page with a simple push, just like we did for the other one. And then let's go here and say add we'll add a link back to their page in case the user clicked the wrong thing and wants to go back. Make that, I don't know, what is it, semi-bold probably. Center it. We'll do the same thing over here. Let's see, just make another text here. Sign up. And we'll center that guy as well. I like to always kind of stretch things out a little bit so the text has more room to grow if if the user's on a different size of device. It'll be responsive by default. So if you try this on any size of device, it'll be responsive, but sometimes it works a little better if you just stretch these guys out a little bit. So I'll just link this back to the login page, and I'll link this guy to the sign up. Then when you click sign up, did I add the link there? Yeah. So when you click sign up, we want to actually make it sign the user up. We want to pull the user's email from the email field. We want to pull the password from the password field. And we want to pull the user's name from the name field. And we also, like before, we want to make this guy into an email input, which we'll just change the case so it'll provide that @ sign and everything by default. Then we're going to change this guy to a password field so that it doesn't show the password. Yeah, so let's try signing up. Oh, one thing we forgot to do though, I suppose, is we didn't actually link the user anywhere after they signed up. So let's just link back to home. And now let's go. Get started. Yeah, so let's see, did I change the color text here? No, it doesn't seem like I changed the color text. Okay. Oh, and it has like a transparent text. Let's see. Okay, that looks a lot better now. Now we got some white text going. So get started. We'll make this Jeremy B. We'll make this Jeremy2 at example.com. Make this just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we sign up. We want that to just take us to our home page. And then so one important thing here is we still see all those same tasks that we had from before. The reason we see those is because we linked these tasks globally. We didn't make them specific to a particular user's account. So we probably would want to make these isolated so we don't have all the tasks the same for every user. The way we can do that is we can add a new column over here in the data section. We can go and actually make a new column which basically ties the task to a particular user. So we'll call this user. We'll tie this to the user model, and then we'll press save. And so now if we preview, we will see nothing. No, we won't see. We'll still see the same things because we didn't change that yet. But what we're going to do here is rather than just take tasks, we go and take the authenticated user's tasks. Because it knows we've already logged in, that'll just take the current user. And same here, we're going to go authenticated user's tasks. And then it'll be still filtered. Let's see. Oh yeah, got rid of our filtering. So we got to add that filtering back as well. We want completed here to be not equal to 1. And here we want it to be filtering, we want completed to be equal to 1, right? Okay, so here we go. Pending, completed, we don't see anything because all those tasks we had were on a different user. So now if we go and we say, let's change these over to user 2, just 2 of them, then those are the 2 completed ones, I guess. Yeah, we'll see those in the completed. Likewise, if we did that, if we unchecked one, we'd see it in the pending section. Yeah, over here. Cool. And so what we can do here is now, well, I guess if we were to log in as the other user again, we could see that again. If we edit this all should still work. Let's see. Edit this guy. Yeah, that gets updated the same way. And likewise, if we create a new one, but if we create a new one, what we want to do is we want to actually save the current user. So here when we click to create, we want to go and say, take the user from the authenticated user. Create a new task now. We can say, I don't know, go to, let's just leave early for work. So that created one, and if we go over here, we can see that it actually, in the data section, put that on Jeremy 2. And by the way, guys, one thing here is you can see that this just takes my email as the default field. If you go back over to the users table, there's a little primary indicator next to email. If we wanted to change that to be the user's name, then when we go over to tasks, it would show my name instead of my email. But that's just totally something you can configure as you see fit with your custom tables. Email is the default one for users, so that's why we never have to set that. And it'll just take whatever field you create first if you don't have one set manually. So here, when we created one, it put it into our list. Let's try another one. Make sure we remember to feed the cat. Cool. And we see that this ordering is actually a bit weird. I thought this was right originally, but the sorting is, it's sorted by the task description and whatever. So we actually want this to sort by the created date, or let's say the updated date, when it was last updated. We'll make this descending. I think that'll look a little better. Okay, so this is the most recent one, then to the last, the oldest one. And we can do the same over here on here, but we only have one, so it's going to be kind of hard to see. Let's set that as the updated date to descending, and that'll most likely, when you set one as completed, that'll update it, so that'll set it to the top of the list. Feed the dog. Okay, so that one, like we say, it went straight to the top of the list. If we now complete this one, it should be the top of the list here too. And then if we uncheck this, take out the trash, it'll show up on the top of our pending list, because basically that was our that was just updated when we clicked that. So now it goes back to the top here. Yeah, and if we want to do that a different way, we could do that a different way. We could go over and probably use the current time or something else. But cool, so it's been about an hour. I think we are going to kind of wind this one down. This has been a good first little session here, trying out Proton, using this to create an app from start to finish. This is a pretty basic one, but maybe we can get into some more advanced techniques in the future. Does anybody have any questions? Just feel free to paste in the chat if you got any questions. I'll stay on here for a couple more minutes, and I will answer those if you have any. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and preview this on my phone. There was that share link that's at the top of the chat that you can use to open it. I'm going to type that one into my phone's web browser, and I can see it. Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna enter this. I'm gonna enter this link. So, and note in the short URL there's no O in Proton. It's proton.co/2LVMO9 capital Q. Okay, let's give that a try. No, we typed it wrong somehow or another. Maybe that was a capital I instead of an L. Alright, there we go. Yeah, so you got it on my phone here. Basically, you can see the app, and I'm just going to log in here with one of the accounts I created. Yeah, something like that. I can see it on my phone right here as well. The same views, all working beautifully. So yeah, seems to work pretty well. This was a success. Cool guys, so I'll be back on here next week, and I'll see everybody then.